We've discussed everything that finance has to offer to you. But does it have an effect on the overall status of our nation?
With us trying to improve our financial status through finance, how does it affect our nation and economic stability?
Discussing that, we have our lovely guest speaker Nicole to introduce to us the role of youth and finance in nation building. Nicole?
Hi guys, I am Nicole Cristobal, and in this video, I will be discussing the role of finance in nation building by dividing this topic into three segments: youth empowerment, corporate social responsibility, and economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. For most of us, exposure to finance starts at a very young age. It happens when you get that money for school, to be spent on food or commuting, and you are left to decide whether you will spend it or save it for the next time. With this, we recognize that even the younger generation can benefit from financial literacy, as it may empower them to grow into financially independent adults. However, theoretical knowledge about finance is not enough to embed financial literacy into their lives, as they must also be active in applying what they learn for it to have a significant impact. It is important to guide young people during their early involvement in day-to-day financial activities to help them manage their finances effectively at an early age and develop responsible spending habits. Aside from knowing how to spend and save one's money, it is also relevant to learn where to put said finances. Through educating them about the possible financial services available to store and grow money, they will be able to grow their assets effectively and significantly, as they have one of the most precious factors in finance, which is time. Keeping track of this can also expose them to different kinds of financial investments and entrepreneurship opportunities to help them get to the next level. Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, refers to the self-regulation model in which businesses hold themselves accountable towards the public. These initiatives may vary depending on the field of the businesses. Most commonly, it includes volunteer efforts, advocacy awareness, income generation programs, and etc. Businesses that recognize the importance of corporate social responsibility ensures that their decisions are grounded on the well-being of the environment and society in general. They are mindful of how their actions will impact different sectors of the community, as business operations are commonly of massive scale. Aside from this, it also imparts a sense of community within its shareholders, namely its employees and customers. It highlights the idea that profit is not the only priority that a business must have, and it must also be mindful of how it can preserve and further improve the welfare of the community around them. As the pandemic gradually comes to an end, one of the concerns would be the nation's plan for economic recovery from the financial tragedy. Indeed, the pandemic forced governments to resort to implement economically damaging measures in order to lessen and mitigate the spread of the disease. One of the most significant would be the implementation of lockdowns every time the pandemic surges. This has particularly slowed down the economy, forcing some businesses to close. As households, financial institutions, and the government are interconnected in the financial cycle, the risk to one can signal a risk to all. Managing these financial risks for each one can be of help for economic recovery, especially in developing countries. On the other hand, these measures pave the way for online businesses and digital financial tools to thrive. Examples of which would be online shopping through Shopee or Lazada, e-wallets such as GCash or Paymaya, and the transition to online banking. Economic recovery will mean adapting to the new normal in finance and making the most out of it. So, government policies must take these changes into consideration in order to maximize its potential.
From what we discussed, we learned that finance is very much relevant in nation building. Youth empowerment on finance will produce financially literate individuals for the next generation. Corporate social responsibility encourages businesses to resort to nurturing decisions and practices.
Finally, finance is a very important aspect in a nation's path back to economic recovery from the pandemic. Obviously, these issues are merely a few of the necessary building blocks for a progressive country that we aim for. Most importantly, learning about it now is a great start for you to be the progressive individual that our country needs.